This week's Feeding the Farmer recipient is Brett Rivers. We're just in the corner of Pickaway County. You can about hit Fayette and Madison County from here. As we take a look at farming operation, give us an update. How early did you get in the fields here?
We started planting corn around April 11th. We could have got in sooner than that, but the forecast was for cooler temperatures, so we held off a little bit.
As you look at the corn at this point, how's it coming along?
Pretty good now since we've gotten some heat. We had to go in and spot in and replant about 550 acres due to drowned out spots from heavy rains we received and some seedling blight also.
Now we talk about the farming operation here at the headquarters. You're actually in the middle of all the farm. How far do you spread out? How far do you have to move around to get today's farming done?
Well, west of here probably 15 miles, east of here 7 miles, and 16 miles north. So we're pretty tight.
Pretty tight in the middle. How much variation do you see in soil types when you figure the different characteristics you've got to look for to be able to get today's job done?
Oh, there's a pretty big variation in soil types in this whole region. So yeah, that does make it a challenge.
Any no-till?
Yeah, we no-till all of our soybeans.
As you look at the beans, we're kind of in an area that you had to consider to do some replant, though we poked around the ground and it's still coming. A nice rain would have made this pop out of the ground pretty quick.
Yes, it would have. It's amazing that the water laid on top of the seed and they're still popping up after they've been in the ground for 2 weeks.
Now, as you take a look, if we can compare to normal, how close are we to being done planting on a normal year?
I would call this pretty normal.
And as you look at the stand behind us, obviously it's easy to see the rows and things. You got to be excited to see this year's crop coming out of the ground.
Absolutely. Now if we can get the weather throughout the rest of the summer, we'll be all right.
Any wheat?
No wheat.
I was going to say, as we look at this crop coming off early, some guys may look at wheat that haven't looked at it for a while down the fall. Will you have any plans for wheat, or it's a corn and bean rotation?
It's a corn and bean rotation, yes.
Now comment on RNC Farms?
RNC Rivers Farms, yeah.
Now, RNC, some people may remember Ron and Charlie Rivers, said that's family.
Yes, it is. Charles was my dad. Ronnie is my uncle. My father passed away 5.5 years ago. And
it was Mid-Ohio Chemical that they owned?
Yes, it was.
I remember as an intern actually calling on them years ago, and it's like, I think I'm putting all this back together. And actually, we're very close to Deer Creek State Park.
Yes, we are, right on the edge of it.
You farm pretty much around one side of it then?
Yes, we do.
Anything else we ought to tell people about the farming operation? Obviously, a lot of trucks, a lot of equipment, grain drying equipment's all important in today's operation.
Yes, it sure is.
As you take a look at the spring, any marketing plans already made for this year? Or how will you market this year's crop?
We do have a fair amount of this year's crop already marketed. Also, some of next year's crop marketed. And you know, that's a tough decision to figure out what these markets are going to do nowadays because it is such a, global, worldwide market now.
And also 21 hours a day now.
Absolutely. A lot more volatility. So, yeah, it's tough.
Brett Rivers, my guest. He brings us up to date on his farming operation and how he's gotten along this spring, this week's winter, and feeding farmers in the field, all thanks to the folks at AgriGold.